Good afternoon. We'll now start. I'd like to welcome everybody to this pep talk this afternoon. Please mute yourself, but always show your video picture. Sign in your name, your Facebook account, or email address in the chat box. Please include the names of companions attending with you. Use the chat box to ask questions and make comments while the pep talk is on. There will be group pictures at the start and end of the pep talk, so please show your beautiful faces in the video. Reminder, after the pep talk, please take the online learning code evaluation test exercise for mastery of learning and have a perfect score to get a certificate like this shown here. I have placed the link in the chat box. Another reminder, obtaining 25 OLETE certificates will entitle one mentee to a free voucher for a RO Hoson medical consultation, either face-to-face or telemedical. A request is that please type in your feedback in the chat box during the open forum and before we adjourn. Thank you. Let's now have a group picture taking before we start the pep talk proper in 2 minutes. That's it. Ready? Wait. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I have a patient empowerment program in which I'd like to empower the lay people or patients to take control in the management of their health. I started the pep talk on May 15, 2021 during the COVID-19 pandemic. There are 3 courses in the pep talk. I completed the core course on October 9, 2021. And from October 23, 2021 onwards, I've been tackling health disorder and health issue courses. May 18, 2024 marks the start of year 4 of RO Hoson Pep Talk. How long the pep talk will last will depend on our enthusiasm, discipline, and perseverance. My pep talk today is entitled Monitoring Recurrence of Breast Cancer After Curative Treatment. After a curative treatment. The empowerment objective is for the lay people to have an essential understanding on monitoring recurrence of breast cancer after a curative treatment as part of their health management. The contents of this pep talk will be the following. What does after curative treatment for breast cancer mean? Why monitor breast cancer recurrence after curative treatment? What are the sites, the common sites of breast cancer recurrences after curative treatment? And how to monitor breast cancer recurrence after a curative treatment? And what are RO Hoson's advice on how to monitor breast cancer recurrence after curative treatment? Disclaimer, this contains the thoughts, perceptions, opinions, and recommendations of RO Hoson, culled from his personal experience as well as from the writings of other professionals. Let's start with the first topic. What does curative treatment for breast cancer mean? That's part of the title. So at the time of the initial consult of a breast specialist, the breast specialist will determine the stage, kung gaano ka-extent na yung disease, the stage of the diagnosed breast cancer. So that's the first thing that the
Doc, nawala yung sound.
Hello?
Doc, wala yung sound.
Wala.
Yeah, meron na, Doc.
Ano yung saan naputol? After the picture taking?
Well, you're talking about the after curative treatment for breast cancer, bigla po nawala.
Ito lang, ngayon lang.
Yes, Doc.
Okay.
Mm.
So, okay. Wala. Naririnig pa ninyo ako?
Yes, Doc, may sound na po.
Yes, meron na. Okay.
Meron na po.
So these are the contents. Let me backtrack a bit. Baka hindi nyo narinig. Okay, these are the contents. As I said, it contains my TPORs. And then the first topic is, what does curative treatment for breast cancer mean? Okay. So at the time of the initial consult with the breast specialist, the breast specialist will determine the stage of the cancer of the diagnosed breast cancer. Then after that, he used a categorization. The usual categorization that we are familiar with nowadays will be stage 1 to stage 4, with stage 1 being the earliest and stage 4 being the most advanced. Some doctors, some specialists will use simple layman's terms or categorization, like it's localized or early, it's local regional, meaning meron na sa lymph nodes, no? Local means dun lang dun sa breast area, regional, meron na sa lymph node. And then advanced stage, yung talagang malaking-malaki na, pumutok na, at kumalat na sa ibang lugar, even into the distant areas. Okay? So this is the first thing that the breast specialist will do after diagnosis, determine the stage. Then based on the stage, the breast specialist determines the goal of the treatment, whether it will be curative or palliative. Okay? So these are the two commonly used terms after the staging. Kung ang goal niya ay curative, anong ibig sabihin nun? And then after that, kung palliative, anong ibig sabihin nun? Then after that, she maps out the specific plan based on the goal. A curative treatment, so after the diagnosis, sasabihin ni breast specialist, curative treatment gagawin. No? So it just means that the treatment plan aims for complete remission with the hope that there will be no recurrence whatsoever. So this is what it's meant by curative treatment. So strictly speaking, in the medical world, the physicians do not talk, promise, or assure a cure outcome after a treatment, even in the earliest stage of the cancer, even stage 1, hindi sila magagaranti ng cure. They would always use the word remission instead of cure. The reason for this, because no matter what stage and treatment done, kahit na stage 1, there'll always be a possibility of recurrence. Kaya ayaw nilang mapaso at sabihin na may cure, no? So they just use the word remission. So what is the difference between cure and remission from cancer? Cure means the cancer is completely gone and is not expected to come back. Ito yung pinaka-strictest definition of cure. Then remission means there is no evidence of residual cancer after the treatment at the moment, but cancer may still come back. So no assurance it can still come back. So again, with the recurrence being possible, physicians do not talk of cure, but they use the word remission. Ayaw nilang mapaso lang. Kasi baka bumalik, baka magkamali sila. Kaya sinasabi nila, remission lang for the moment. So when the oncologists say that this or that cancer is still curable, meron kayong naririnig ganitong kasabihan saying it's curable. They just mean that they can get rid of the cancer if proper treatment is administered early enough. The cancer has a good chance of being controlled completely and attaining complete remission. However, they still don't guarantee cure. They guarantee good chance for complete remission. Yun lang i-guarantee nila. There's a good chance, but they don't guarantee cure. Good chance for complete remission. Remissions means nawala na yung lahat ng cancer, but with a potential
Doc, nawala na ulit yung sound.
Okay. This was my last slide. Naririnig niyo ulit ako?
Yes, Doc.
Opo.
So to repeat, a curative treatment for breast cancer means that the treatment plan aims for complete remission with the hope of no recurrence whatsoever. So yan ang definition ng curative treatment for breast cancer. A curative intent or goal is usually aimed for stages 1 and 2 breast cancers, and using the simple terms, local and loco-regional stages. So usually pag merong stage 1 and 2 and then local and regional stages, yun lang ang usually sinasabi ng cancer specialist, curative intent ang goal. But kung stage 3, stage 4 na, and then those with advanced stages like stage 3B, ganon, they just say it's palliative goal na, no? So it's not a curative goal, palliative goal, because this is being to be realistic about the goal. Okay. Now, why monitor breast cancer recurrence after curative treatment? After a curative treatment for breast cancer, there's still a possibility of recurrence no matter what. The lower the stage, the lesser the risk for recurrence. But regardless of the stages, after an execution of a curative treatment plan, there must be a plan to monitor for recurrence. As I said, pwede mag-recur, kaya kahit na may curative plan, imo-monitor pa rin. The commonly used medical term for monitoring is surveillance. So that's another term for monitoring. Cancer surveillance or monitoring for cancer recurrence. The goal of the breast cancer surveillance is to detect breast cancer as early as possible, prior to the onset of signs and symptoms of the disease, and to allow for earlier, less aggressive treatment, thus reducing the mortality and morbidity associated with the recurrence. So this is the ideal goal, okay, to detect breast cancer early enough, okay, so that we can allow earlier and less aggressive treatment, thus reducing the death and other morbidities associated with the recurrence. Whatever breast cancer surveillance strategies are recommended, the following should be considered. 1, effectiveness in detecting recurrence. Kung gano'ng ka-accurate, gano'ng ka-effective yung pag-detect ng recurrence. Then the risk of detecting strategies, ano yung mga complications, mga inconveniences, okay? Then the outcomes, whether they really prolong survival with a good quality of life. Ito yung importante. And then the cost of the detecting strategies. Yung mga kung magkano at baka masyadong mahal, hindi rin kaya. No? Okay. Then availability of the detecting strategies. No? There are some detecting strategies known in the internet pero hindi available sa Pilipinas. So baka it has to be considered. So effectiveness, the risk, and then the outcomes, the cost, and then availability. Note that in breast cancer, a strategy that can detect recurrence early may not necessarily be equated to prolonging survival with the quality of life. Thus, usually a battery of tests is not recommended. Kasi mamaya i-explain ko, using a battery of tests, usually mas maaga ang detection, pero it does not equate to the good outcomes, no, in terms of prolonging survival with the quality of life. I will explain this in a little while. Where are the sites of the common sites of breast cancer recurrence after curative treatment? The more common sites are, number one, local recurrence, meaning dun sa operative area, sa chest, sa breast, no? Okay. Then regional recurrence is sa mga kilikili lymph nodes in the armpits and also the neck above the collarbone. And then distant recurrence, distant means malayo, it's another organ like the bones, the lungs, the brain, the liver, skin, and soft tissues, and sometimes into the opposite breast. No? But we have to distinguish if there is a breast cancer on the opposite breast, we have to distinguish whether it's a new cancer or galing dun sa the opposite side, yung pinaka-origin. No? So, but usually, pag a new cancer arising the opposite breast may not be a recurrence. It's a panibagong cancer yon, parang de novo, a new from the very start yon, no? But there are times in which yung cancer dun sa right, let's say right side, pwedeng pumunta sa left side. Yan ang spread, no? Or from the left side going to the right side, no? Okay. How to monitor breast cancer recurrence after curative treatment? Number one, by self, sarili, no? Okay. And then breast specialists with or without lab diagnostic test. When you say self, this is through symptoms monitoring kung anong nararamdaman ng pasyente and through breast self-exam. Now, for the breast specialist, what is usually done is the so-called clinical breast examination and then doing lab tests as needed. So, okay. So, hindi siya dekahon na battery of tests. Usually, three commonly practiced strategies in breast cancer surveillance that we are familiar with, yung mga practices of a lot of doctors. Number one is the symptom-based, sign-based surveillance with selective lab tests as needed. Okay? Kung kailangan lang. So depending on the risk of the recurrence. Number two strategy is the clinical examination and mammogram surveillance with other lab tests as needed, depending on the risk of recurrence again. And then the third type of practice that we commonly see in the community by a lot of doctors would be the battery of tests, lab test surveillance. Example, maraming test na gagawin. Mammo, ultrasound, bone scan, CT scan, PET scan, tumor markers, etc. Okay. So this is what is meant by the battery of tests. Yung second one is a breast specialist doing the clinical exam and then doing the mammo surveillance as a routine. No? Okay. Ito yung signs and symptom-based naman, kung meron lang na simptomas at may nakikita yung doktor na may bukol, suspecting breast cancer, and then gagawa siya ng test as needed kung may duda siya. No? So when you say symptom-based surveillance, this consists of the following. It's actually based on the patient, yung gumagawa ng self-monitoring. So look and feel, so inspect and feel, palpate for the common alert symptoms of recurrence. Number one, the patient, the person should look for a mass in the operated areas. Yung doon na-operahan, let's say right breast, na-operahan na kung subtotal, hindi lahat tinanggal, baka may umulit, o kung kahit na total, baka may umulit. No? And then also on the opposite breast, kung di tinanggalin dalawang breast, so you look at the remaining breast kung may mga bukol, and then look for mga nodes, yung mga masses sa armpits, which usually are mga kulani na yon, lymph nodes, and then those sa leg and other parts of the body. And then the other symptoms that the patients will have to be on guard with will be whether there is intractable headache. When you say intractable, meaning matagalan, ayaw mawala, usually 1 month, no? 2 weeks to 1 month. Okay. So pag meron yan, we have to investigate because of the possible brain metastasis. Now, the other symptom that we have to monitor will be the intractable bone pain. Let's say 2 weeks to 1 month, ayaw mawala, but which are not indicative of arthritis o hindi man nasaktan, no? Okay. So we have to think of possible bone recurrence. No? Then intractable cough, yung matinding ubo at matagalan, no? Hindi nawawala, hindi naman dahil sa COVID, hindi dahil sa flu, no? So we have to think of possible lung recurrence, no? And then intractable abdominal pain, okay, masakit ng tiyan, lalo na dun sa right upper quadrant, we think of the liver recurrence. So we thought of these five symptoms to monitor because these are the common areas of distant metastases. Usually sa Pilipinas, I think even elsewhere, the most common site of metastasis is still the bone, then the lungs, and then number 3 and 4 will be the brain and liver. So when you have intractable, meaning intractable means prolonged or long duration of these symptoms, pain, ganon, cough, ganon, 2 to 4 weeks. And evidently, it's not due to other causes like a recurrence. Kasi kung 1 week lang yung cough niya, baka pwedeng flu, pwedeng ano yan, pwedeng COVID. So we don't think of the lung recurrence. No? So we just have to observe further. Kung tumatagal yung cough niya, hindi nawawala, no? Mga 2 weeks, 4 weeks, no? No? And it's not evidently caused by inflammation, then we start investigating. Now, sign-based surveillance naman, kanina symptom-based na yun, sign-based surveillance, this is usually done by a breast specialist. No? So the breast specialists usually do a physical examination searching for signs of recurrence. And the physical exam consists of the following: looking or inspecting and palpating for mass that would indicate a breast cancer recurrence, then evaluating a patient for recurrence with inputs from the history and interview for symptoms of recurrence. So, ini-input pa rin yung kanina, yung symptoms-based surveillance. So, meron siyang intractable bone pain, no? Then, magsususpecha yung breast specialist na bone metastasis. So, gagawa na siya ng mga laboratory tests. So, the minimum areas to be examined by the breast specialist are the following: the 2 breast areas, okay, kabilaan, minimum, and then the 2 armpits, kilikili, 2 areas of the neck above the collarbones, and then the right upper quadrant of the abdomen, looking for possible liver metastases. So 7 areas, now 2, 2, 2, and then 1, so 7 areas. How to monitor breast cancer recurrence after curative treatment? Okay, as I said, these are the 3 commonly used in the community. But for me, my personal practice is I use the symptom sign-based surveillance with selective. When you say selective, only as indicated. Kung may suspecha akong something that I'm not sure of, suspicious for recurrence, then I do the lab test. Kung wala naman, I just limit myself to symptom and sign-based surveillance. Wala nang lab test. Now, ito yung second one is clinical examination and mammo surveillance with other lab tests as needed. This is recommended by the American societies, no? NCCN and ASCO. And then, ito yung sinasabi ng ASCO. Annual mammography and physical examinations are recommended surveillance strategies for people who have been treated with curable breast cancer. More intensive follow-up in people with no symptoms has not been proven to improve outcomes. Yeah, ito yung statement against yung battery of tests. No? So kung wala kang mga symptoms na bone pain, intractable bone pain, cough, okay, abdominal pain, saka yung headache, pwedeng hindi na. So this is another statement by the American Society of Clinical Oncology. They do not recommend routine screening for cancer as distant sites, because this is usually being done in the battery of tests. A lot of our doctors are doing this one. So you have to remember that it's not being recommended internationally. There are clinical studies that compare the use of battery of tests versus selective tests, okay, in breast cancer surveillance. and report of this trial support the view that a protocol of frequent laboratory tests and X-ray after the primary treatment for breast cancer does not improve, to repeat, does not improve the survival or influence the health-related quality of life. Kaya they don't usually do battery of tests. So the routine use of this battery of tests should be discouraged. Another studies, okay, periodic X-ray, marami dyan nag-X-ray dati, even up to now, bone scan, allow earlier detection. Tama, pag sinabi ko, kanina sinabi ko, pag meron kang mga laboratory, it's true that it can detect early recurrence, okay? But anticipated diagnosis appears to be only the effect of intensive workup and no impact on the prognosis is evident after 5 years. Yung outcome is not better than in using the battery of tests. So periodic intensive follow-up with chest X-ray and bone scan should not be recommended as a routine policies. Ito yung position ng mga American associations. So ito yung bakit na hindi recommend yung battery of test. So here is an illustration. Dito nagsimula yung cancer and then pina-follow up mo, ganon. And then through without screening ito, without battery of test, symptom-based lang ito. Okay? So na-diagnose ito, let's say, at age 67. Example lang ito. And namatay siya at age 70. No? Okay. And then ito naman, this is another group of patients with screening, yung battery of test. As I said, when you have battery of test, makikita kagad yung mga screening. Kasi yung mga hindi nakakapa, makikita kagad. So it's true that the cancer was diagnosed earlier, let's say age 60, ito dito, 67, later ito earlier. No? But they die at the same time. No? So whether with battery of tests or without, usually this cancer, kung may recurrence, they die at the same time. No? Okay. Kaya they don't recommend yung routine screening. Okay. Kasi yung pag na-diagnose sa early, ang side effect noon, yung quality of life. You have poorer quality of life in terms of longer mental suffering. No? In contrast to, pag without the screening, late ang diagnosis mo nga, pero but you die at the same time as those with battery of tests, but the mental suffering is shorter. Yan ang quality of life na pinag-uusapan. No? So the other disadvantage or advantage of without screening, less expensive, okay? But for the screening, mahal siya, masyado, big expense. So again, to repeat, my personal practice is this one, symptom-based surveillance with selective lab tests, meaning as needed, and then the battery of test is not being recommended, but for the dito sa ibang country, American NCCN, ASCO, they recommend clinical examination and MAMO surveillance. So what are my recommendations on how to monitor breast cancer recurrence after curative treatment? As I said, symptoms of patients, what they felt and observed, and this should be done regularly, usually monthly at least for life. Tuloy-tuloy, because we don't know when cancer will come back. You know, we cannot talk of cure. And then signs from the physical examination of the physician, particularly breast cancer specialists. Again, regularly, at least once a year. Okay, but plan intervals, again, for life also. Okay. Then laboratory diagnostic tests or procedures only as indicated or selected, not the battery of tests. Kung meron lang akong suspecta that there's something going on inside the lungs, then that's the time I do the examination on the lungs. If I do suspect something's going on the bone, then I do a lab test on the bone, etc. As needed lang. So I've discussed all these issues, all these questions, topics, okay? Takeaway in relation to patient empowerment, be always in touch with reliable medical information on monitoring recurrence of breast cancer after curative treatment. Knowledge is power, it gives power. use the 4Ks of patient empowerment, kalaman, kakayanan, karapatan, and kapangyarihan to gain greater control over decisions and make better decisions on monitoring recurrence of breast cancer after curative treatment as part of your health management. Okay, with this ends my pep talk today, and I hope I have empowered you to have an essential understanding on monitoring of recurrence of breast cancer after curative treatment as part of your health management. Reminder, before we go to the QA, please take the Olete. Okay, I have placed the link in the chat box. And then 25 Olete certificates will entitle one mentee to a voucher to a free HOSON medical consultation, either face-to-face or telemedical. And then feedback, please type in your feedback before we adjourn. And let's now have a group picture taking before we start the QA and interactions. Okay. Ready? One. Everybody joining. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So the floor is now open for questions, okay, comments, sharing of experiences, as well as consultations if you have. Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yes, Doc.
Okay, good.
Doc, I have a question.
Oh, sure, Violeta.
Yung sinabi ninyo na yung distant, yung nag-travel to distant part to the other breast. So if it is the same kind of cancer like ERPR yung first breast and then ERPR yung next breast, that is called distant recurrence.
Hindi based on the ERPR, no? Titingnan yung clinical course of the cancer, no? Kung one scenario is walang evidence na recurrence, let's say na-operan siya sa right breast, no? So
Yes, Doc.
pina-follow up, wala siyang signs or evidence of recurrence elsewhere, no? And then suddenly, one day, merong isang bukol on the left breast, no? Okay.
Apa.
So, yun most likely, yun ay another new breast cancer. Kasi may soil doon, di ba? May soil, no? So, on the right breast. Okay. Now, in a situation,
Pero kung
so,
Doc,
sige, go ahead.
Doc, kasi I have my classmate, yung right breast niya, bali nung una is parang conservative lang ginawa, tapos bumalik, so pinatanggal yung breast.
Okay.
Ngayon, yung kabilang breast naman, nagkaroon daw ulit, sabi daw ng doctor is stage 1, so undergoing histochemistry na naman siya. So ang tanong ko, Doc, is will that be another primary cancer or it will be a recurrence?
Most likely, it's another primary as long as there is no evidence of other sites of recurrence in other parts of the body. No? Okay. Ngayon, pag merong, let's say, balik tayo dun sa aking example. Dun sa right side, na-operan siya, and then merong lung mets na siya at the moment, or bone mets, and then at the same time, meron siyang meron siyang bukol sa left breast. Most likely, it's a spread from the original, no? Okay. Pero kung yung pasyente walang evidence of other recurrences in other parts of the body, and then another tumor occur on the opposite side, most likely it's a new one. A new one. Okay. By,
Oh.
by eliminating
So, for example, Doc, kung yung naunang breast niya na natanggal is HER2 positive, tapos itong pangalawa, HER2 positive din ulit, ano po tawag doon?
wala.
So, parehong primary?
Yung HER2, yung ERPR, no, does not determine whether yung tumor on the other side of the breast is a recurrence or a new cancer. Hindi, no? Okay. So because
Ah,
you have to remember that yung mga HER2 are ERPR HER2, okay, nagbabago rin yan for ano, let's say one tumor na operahan na, no, na let's say right side, pina ERPR mo, then HER2 mo, no? So there's a result na, let's say positive, positive, negative, di ba? Ganun. Then after a
yes
while,
po, Doc.
nag-recur, pina HER2 mo, kahit na on the same breast, pwedeng iba ang results, no? So yung HER2 is not absolute, no? Pwedeng magbago, and it's not being used to determine whether primary metastatic yung isa on the opposite breast or another new breast. It's not being used for that purpose, no? So we try to
Opo.
determine kung primary or second primary a new breast cancer yung on the opposite breast or galing sa the other breast. Now usually base it on yung clinical. Kung meron siyang ebidensya na may other evidence of recurrence, no, then most likely the tumor on the other breast is part of that recurrence from the other breast, no? Okay.
So, paano po niya malalaman, Doc, if it is a recurrence or not? So, kailangan may metastasis to other organs muna bago masabi na recurrence yung other breast? Ganun po ba?
Yeah. When you say when you say recurrence, it's a umulit, di ba, from the original, no?
Yes po, Doc.
Okay.
Po.
Pero yung I use my drawing ko na lang, i-drawing ko. Sandali. Paano ba ito?
Kasi yun medyo nako-confuse siya kung ano ba yung treatment niya, kung mag-uulit siya ulit from the full HER2 treatment again, or it will be another treatment used to treat metastasis.
Sandali. Nakita mo ba yung notes?
Whiteboard, Doc.
Nakita mo yung drawing ko? Whiteboard? Nakita mo yung
May whiteboard po.
nakita mo whiteboard?
Yes, Doc.
So sabihin natin, na operan siya rito, na? Okay.
Yes po.
The left. Ito yung left. Ito yung right. Okay. So sabihin natin na operan siya ng 2010, na? Okay. And then monitor, no? And then after sometimes nagkaroon siya ng bukol dito, no? Okay. Sabihin natin 2024, sabihin natin, no?
Yes po, Doc.
Nagkaroon siya ng bukol dito, no? We will say that this is another new one. New one na lang, no? Okay. If there are no evidence of recurrence elsewhere, no? Kung wala sa bone, wala siya sa lungs, no? Lungs, and then sa brain and other sites, kung wala, no? So we just conclude that this is a new one. Okay? Pero kung merong kahit na isa lang dito, merong bone mets, we have to consider this as a recurrence. Yung nanggaling dito, nag-spread yan.
Punta sa kabila.
Ah,
So, ibig sabihin, kailangan mag-travel muna yung cancer cell to the other parts of the body bago siya makapunta sa breast.
Hindi.
Ganun po ba, Doc?
Hindi. A breast cancer can, from the very start, they can go to the brain, to the bone, to the lungs, to the liver, and other parts of the body, and even to the breast. Okay? It doesn't have to travel through the bones muna before going to the other breast. Pwede pa. Pwede, na?
So, opo, Doc. Yes, Doc. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan at least meron siyang to the other organs muna bago magkaroon ulit sa breast.
Yeah.
Ganun po ba?
Yan ang ano, yan ang usual basis ngayon, no? You look for evidence of other, kung merong existing recurrence in other parts of the body before you can say that this is a primary or new one, or part and parcel of the yung galing dito sa original one niya, no? Okay. So pero that's not foolproof, but most of the time that's what we use. Or what we can do, sometimes we can do, pero mahirap din. You examine the type, no? Type of cancer on the other side, no? Kasi kung hindi yung ERPR as a basis, no? So let's say kung invasive, pero usually hindi rin kung invasive ductal carcinoma, yung invasive na ductal carcinoma on the left side, yung original one niya, and then this time, pag inopera mo, sabihin natin lobular carcinoma, different types, no?
Magkaiba.
So we can say that this is a new one, no? Okay. So that's another way of trying to determine, no, which is which, no? Okay? Okay?
Okay. Thank you, Doc.
You're welcome. Any more questions? Questions?
Walang gusto magtanong.
Yeah, you can ask another
Walang
question.
gusto magtanong.
Sure.
Ako magtatanong ako ulit. Pag walang magtatanong, Doc.
Sige, okay lang. Go ahead.
Yun, sinabi ninyo yung battery of surveillance, Doc. Is that for breast cancer only or for all types of cancers?
Yan ang, when you say battery of test, yan ang mindset, yung practice ng mga doktor. No? So, it can be done for yung mga other types of cancer. Now, let's say lung cancer. Okay? So, minsan, they would do a lot of battery of tests, no? Like CT scan, PET scan, no? Okay, tumor markers, etc., etc. Yan ang battery of tests, no? Okay. But for other people, oncologists, no, they will just symptoms na lang. Kung may nararamdaman ka, no? So symptom-based, kung may cough ka, that's the time they do it. So that's another approach, no? Okay. So again, it has been shown that even sa lung cancer, you base it on symptoms and then base it on the battery of tests, pareho lang ang results, no? Okay, the outcomes pareho lang, no? So kadalasan with the battery of tests, you spend more than what is usual, no? Very expensive at usually negative lahat, no? And then it's true that you can discover it early, and then but at the end point is parang when you say pareho lang ang outcome, meaning they die at the same time, no? Okay, whether it's battery of test or symptom based. No? So, kung symptom based, they die at the same time, late nga ma-detect, pero yung quality of life is better. Kasi we know that kung meron ka ng recurrence, hindi ka na makakatulog talaga, di ba? Okay. So you're having a lot of mental suffering already, di ba? Compared to kung na-detect mo just before, let's say 1 month, 2 months before you die, it's shorter ang mental suffering mo, no? Okay.
So Doc, ibig sabihin, yun recommended na yun is just for the early stage, or pag yung mga nasa advanced stage, the same pa rin ang rule?
But
Yung for example, di ba sabi niyo yun nasa stage 3,
yung
hindi na siya gali sa Kumbaga, hindi niya siya kasali dun sa stage 1 and 2. Di ba, hiniwalay niyo yung category?
Hindi, ang sinasabi ko, yung practices ng mga physicians, no? 3 kinds of practices, no? One is the symptom-based, no? Then the other one, the more extreme one, battery of tests, no? Okay. Okay. So yung second one, yung limited lang. Parang yung sa breast is yung sa ASCO, yung American organization, they just say clinical exam and mammo lang. No? Ako, I don't go for mammo, di ba? As needed lang. Pero sa kanila, no? Okay. So this approach is it's true for all stages. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ano, no? Okay. Pero kung let's say if you're dealing with the stage 4 cancer, let's say stage 4 na, no? Okay. So you can do some tests, no, to monitor yung kung nagre-respond yung treatment, no? Kung nagre-respond sa treatment. That's time you do the test. Okay? Okay. Pero there are other people who do a lot of tests also. Just like they do PET scan, di ba? Dami, di ba? PET scan, no? Pwedeng, let's say, kung imo-monitor mo lang yung lung cancer mo, no? Let's say lung cancer, may ano ka, and then you can use chest x-ray to monitor it, no? Kasi gusto mo mga lab, kasi you have a baseline na eh. You have a baseline na meron ka ng tumor doon, you know the size, no? And then you gave the treatment, let's say radiation, chemotherapy. Gusto mo lang makita kung lumiliit na siya o ano, kung nawala na, no? Okay, ganon, no? But yan, pwede na yon, no? So that's selective, no? But there are a lot of physicians who, despite that, they do a lot of tests. Yung mga tumor markers, baka hindi mo kailangan na, no? Ganon, no? Okay. So, hindi, yung usually yung mindset, yung practices, no, can be done, can occur in all the stages. It all depends on the mindset of the doctors, eh. No? Okay. So at the moment, nakikita man ninyo, no, probably all of you will have experienced that. All the relatives that you have, their friends, battery of tests, di ba? Maraming tests ginagawa, no? Okay. Tama?
Yes, Doc. I have PET scan kasi every 6 months since nagkaroon ako ng cancer because I have 2 primary cancer, di ba? And then, nakita po yun, nauna kasi yung breast cancer ko, Doc, 2018. And then 2019, renal cancer. Tapos sabay nakita yun multiple lung nodules
Okay.
sa lungs ko. So, I was told to have a PET CT scan. And wala pong FDG uptake yun lang nodules. Nandun sa kidney yun, HCM nodules. So, I was given another surgery for that. And then after that po, every 6 months po yung monitoring kasi the nodules are growing.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay yun. It's not,
And then, so tama po yung ginawa.
yung approach niyo is monitoring the treatment na.
Actually, wala pong treatment kasi daw, wala naman FDG uptake, lumalaki lang. Yung multiple nodules in both lungs, lumalaki po siya. Every 6 months po, lumalaki ng 0.3 cm.
Ayan, okay. So, hindi, but you had chemo, di ba? You had chemo after, tama?
I have a full treatment for the breast cancer, pero yung kidney cancer, no treatment, surgery lang po.
Surgery lang. Okay. So,
actually 2022 pa nakita nila na nagkaroon na ng FDG uptake. One nodule lang, pero sobrang liit. So, sabi, it cannot be determined. Inantay nila lumaki. So, last year lang, October, nakita. As in talagang both lungs punong-puno na FDG uptake and may 3 malaki.
okay.
So, doon na sila nag-decide for the CT-GAB to diagnose kung what kind of cancer yun nandun. Kasi sabi ng onco is pwedeng 3 pagpipilian. It comes from the breast, comes from the kidney, or it's a lung cancer, or pwede rin uh, PTB,
Okay, PT.
pulmonary tuberculosis.
Yeah.
Opo.
Okay. So yun sa'yo kasi medyo complicated siya. So it's understandable that the doctors will do a lot of tests for you. No? Pero yung run of the mill, let's say kung yung breast cancer mo na 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 given na isang curative treatment goal, natanggal na, no? Then we start talking about the different kinds of surveillance, no? Yung iba, pwedeng symptom-based lang. Yung iba, battery of tests, maraming tests, no? Okay. So battery test means you do a lot of tests which may not be necessary. Yun lang, no? Okay. So that's a common practice among physicians, no? Okay.
Opo. Kasi usually po, Dok, pag lungs, asymptomatic po siya.
Oo.
Just like po yung patient po ninyo, si Mr. Tolentino.
Okay.
It was operated by you February 20, tapos inabutan siya ng COVID.
Oo.
Then, October na siya nag-resume for treatment. Metastasize na po siya.
Yeah. Kaya nga.
He passed away April 2021 na po.
Yeah.
Kumbaga, hindi na dapat.
Yeah, it's true that some of the cancer that recurrent cancer usually asymptomatic pa, no? So that's a given. That's why we're saying that if you choose a kind of test, dapat kahit na ma-detect mo ng earlier, mahabol mo pa, no? Mahabol mo, magkakaroon ka pa ng good treatment results, no? Eh ang problema kasi pag nag-recur na, okay, majority, usually kahit na anong gawin mo, usually wala na, no? Okay? Pag nag-spread na sa distant areas, no? Yan sinasabi niya, it's not practical anymore, no? Okay? To do all this battery of tests, no? Parang they're trying to balance it with...
Pero Doc, meron po akong wife of my classmate, breast cancer po siya, stage 2 po, and then, nung nag-PET scan, nakita, nag-recurrence na sa bone, sa hip bone, so, automatic naging stage 4 siya. Nauna pa siya sa akin, nagkaroon ng stage 4 na po, di ba? Kasi na-detect po na nasa kalat sa hip bone.
Stage 4.
Actually, nauna pa nga siya. Stage 4 na po siya. Pero hanggang ngayon, buhay pa siya doon.
Yeah.
Nauna pa siya sa akin.
What do you mean nauna sa'yo?
Swerte?
Akala ko.
Swerte po yun doon.
Swerte mo. Swerte niya o swerte mo?
Maswerte siya.
Bakit
Kasi 7 years to and he's the one encouraging me. Okay, kaya mo yan. Kasi with the new technology, medicine always changes. And then, pag hindi na nagwo-work yung medicine, another medicine will come, sabi niya sa akin.
Yeah, tama yon. Saka number one, we have to know that different mga behavior ng mga cancer for every person, iba-iba. Hindi pare-pareho, no? Kahit na for the same stage, same size, no? Iba pa rin ang behavior, no? Okay. Kahit na stage 1. When you have stage 1, we're not saying 100% will live up to 5 years, no? There's always a less than, no? Let's say 99%. May 1% na hindi talaga, no? Okay. Kahit na stage 1. So no guarantee, di ba? So kung stage 2, mas po konti. Let's say stage 2 breast cancer, usually mga 97, 98, di ba? Okay. So walang 100%, no? Okay. So that shows that iba-iba yung behavior din ng cancer, no? Okay. So iba-iba, no? So we just have to look at the iba-iba yung tao, iba-iba din yung tao, no? So we just have to look at when we advise patients, we just have to look at the track record ng mga tumors, no? So usually pag pumunta na sa bone, no? Kadalasan from breast cancer to bone, usually maganda pa rin ang ano, hindi pa, I mean, hindi mabilis ang ano, I mean, it's not a terminal,
Kala-
mahaba pang, konting mahabang buhay pa rin yan, basta makontrol lang, no? Okay. Compared to when you have breast cancer going to the lungs, to the liver, usually mas madali yon. Usually shorten, no? Usually 6 months to 1 year lang yon, no? Pero sa bone, mahaba pa, no? 3, 4 years average, no? Okay. Pero yung sa kanya, naka 7 years siya, maswerte siya.
Opo.
Make sure that it's a bone mets. Baka hindi bone mets siya.
Bone po. Kasi meron po siyang PET scan din na regular. And then recently, nagkaroon daw siya ng tumor doon sa, ano ba yun? Sa may neck.
Oh,
Nagkaroon ng bukol sa neck.
oh,
So pinabiopsy nila is, kasi una daw is ER-PR siya. Ngayon, ER negative, PR positive na daw. So, hindi ko alam, nag-change medicine ulit siya.
meron siya sa neck notes na ngayon. So, nagpo-progress siya.
Opo, meron na po.
Nagpo-progress siya. Okay. Pero,
Nagpo-progress po siya, pero ang point niya is, 7 years na akong buhay.
yeah, di mas, ayaw niya. 7 years.
Actually, masaya siya, Doc. Lagi nga naglalakwat siya eh.
Okay. So, yeah, we can never predict what will happen to a particular person. Just like we don't talk about cure, it can recur anytime. Swerte-swertihan ka minsan, no? Okay. So, just,
So,
ano,
Doc, how the patient outlook, kung paano niya tinatanggap yung disease,
oo.
I think that will help.
That will help in terms of peace of mind. Yung ano, yun ang kalaban natin palagi, yung mind eh. Diba? Mahirap.
Baka yun po ang reason, kaya mahaba yung buhay niya.
Pwede, or baka may mission pa siya dapat gagawin sa buhay.
Yeah, true.
Ibang tao, iba-iba, no? Pero yung sa kanya, kung meron na siya from the bone, meron na siya dun sa neck, medyo malapit na siya.
Actually, yun po ang sabi ng onko niya. Medyo malapit na.
No? So do whatever she wants to do before she leaves. Live life before you live your life. No? Okay. Okay. So I hope I've answered all your questions, okay, Violeta.
Yes, Doc. Yes, Doc. Thank you, Doc.
I saw a hand kanina. Si Chris ba is raising her hand kanina? Chris Nesesha?
Hello, Doc. Good afternoon. Yes po.
Okay, good.
Actually, na-discuss niyo na din. Good afternoon, everyone. Yung sa battery of test, kasi I think I'm doing that talaga annual.
Oo. So, depende sa
Tapos,
doctor, diba? Depende sa
apo.
ano. Kung sa,
Tapos siguro yung
akin,
nakukuha.
kung sa akin, that's why sabi ko, it's my personal practice. I don't do, no? Okay. So, tanong natin,
Opo.
andito si Radies, di ba? Andito si Radies, si Mary Ann. Si Mary Ann,
Nandito po.
si Radies, I don't think we did a battery of tests for you, di ba?
Hindi signs and symptoms.
Symptom-based tayo. Symptom sign-based tayo, di ba? Wala tayong annual scan.
Which I appreciate very much. Kasi
medyo choppy.
Symptom. Walang ano po. Wala doc.
Okay. So Radies is more than 30 years survivor na siya. We just did a battery without just do symptom sign based, no?
Thankful.
So we just do physical examinations. When she goes to my clinic, wala akong mga test na pinapagawa, no? Okay. So Mary Ann Jose, I think sa Singapore they do also a lot of tests, di ba? Singapore? May Ann?
Yes po. Yes po.
So, depende sa institutions, depende sa ano, no? Okay. So, depende sa doktor, depende sa institutions, depende sa yung mga cancer centers, depende.
Malaking factor po talaga yung management yung type of management ng doctor, Doc.
Yeah, it's true. Pero you have to
Yun ang
you have to consider yung mindset nga ng mga doktor na kung anong, depending on mindset, yan ang i-recommend sa inyo, di ba? Sabihin, sige, mag-battery of test tayo, di ba? Okay.
Yeah. Opo, Doc, correct. Doc, isa pa, sorry. Kasi na-mention yung PET scan.
Oo.
Yun yung hindi siya nare-recommend ng doctor ko. Ano po ba yung nagigain kapag nagpa-PET scan po? I just do mga series of mga whole abdomen, mga ganyan, bone scan, mga ganyan. Tapos nung nakaraan kasing nakarang year, parang lagi akong inuubo. Kaya what do you call that, nagpaano kami sa lang. So, thanks God, okay naman siya. So, ang ano ko, sa mga kakilala ko, Dok, parang lagi silang, yun, tulad po yung nung na-mention ni Ma'am na nag-PET scan siya every 6 months or every annual.
Okay.
Ano po yung nagiging, yung nakikita sa PET scan?
Let's put it this way. There are a lot of tests coming out, new tests, no? Mga sinasabi natin, mga inventions, mga new ones, di ba? Okay. So, which are not present before, no? So, ang tendency, kung may mga bago, ginagamit palagi, di ba? Ginagamit. So, we're not saying totally useless yung mga bago. Merong mga advantages, may mga ano, no? Pero ang problema is, are they really necessary? Di ba? So, pwedeng one approach is just use it only kung talagang kailangan lang. No? So, then ibabalance mo lang yung mga side effects as well as the mga cost. Magkano, di ba? Okay. So, kung yung PET scan is about, sa ngayon, about nag-range sa mga 50,000, dati 100,000 yan. At least bumababa na, no? Okay. Pero mahal pa rin, no? Okay. So, and so popular nowadays, halos lahat gumagawa na rin dyan, di ba? Okay. So again, it depends on the mindset of the doctors doing the request, no? Okay.
Okay po, Doc. Thank you.
Okay. Any more?
Doc, quick questions lang.
Sure.
Ay, ano, Doc, kasi I heard lang, hindi naman I heard pala, nangyari rin sa akin. Yung auntie ko from breast, lumipat sa thyroid, pero buhay pa until now. Pero yung friend ko na breast, nung pumunta sa uterus yata or ovary, wala na siya nung 2 months ago. Paano ba yung ganung situation, Doc?
Paano yung situation? So,
Lumipat.
only God knows. Hindi ako God. Okay. So anything can happen no? Iba-ibang behavior ng mga yung mga tumors, iba-ibang cancer, no? Ganon. Okay, yun sa kanya, sabihin natin, we can call it malas, yung pumunta sa ovary at in so short a time, namatay na siya, di ba? Yung isa naman, pumunta sa thyroid, mas maganda naman sa thyroid, pwede pa, no? Okay. So usually pag sa thyroid, mas maganda yung prognosis. So but what will determine kung saan pupunta, nobody knows. Nobody knows. No? So we just have to pray and hope na lang and then be ready. No? Okay.
Thank you po, Doc.
That's life di ba? Okay. 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 No more? If there are no more questions.
Sorry, Doc, kanina.
Sure.
So, Doc, si Ridis po ito, nagkawalan po ng power.
Okay lang. Ewan ko nga, nagkakaloko nga rin sa computer ko ngayon no? So, anyway. So, nagpa-fluctuate no?
Opo, yung akin din po mobile data na lang ginagamit ko ngayon.
Ako nga rin,
Nawala
nag-mobile
ng
data na ako yung wifi ko rin sa bahay, hindi gumana Okay, so thank you for all your inputs. Now we'll see each other next week again. Now we will,
Ano pong topic?
I will focus on 3 sessions on thyroid next week.
Okay.
3 sessions pala because habulin ko lang yung thyroid, International Thyroid Awareness Month. No? Okay.
Opo.
Simple lang, how to, when to suspect hyperthyroidism, that's 1 session. Second session, isang Saturday, how to suspect hypothyroidism. And then the other session will be how to suspect thyroid cancer. No? Simple lang, simpleng lecture lang, but direct to the point na. No? How to suspect. No? Okay. Okay? So if
Okay
there are no
po.
more questions, we'll call it a day. We'll see each other next week. No? On
Thank you po,
thyroid.
Doc.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Doc.
Welcome.
Thank you,
Bye-bye po.
Doc. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.